Your appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the Senator.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around, and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. But the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
UNATCO?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He's relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience. And their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The augmentation project?
Among other things, but I must admit that I have been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress. If necessary, the primary will be terminated.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again. A new age. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon that city will be a reality, and we will crown its kings. Not better than kings. Gods.
Paul, I thought you were in Hong Kong. Welcome to the Coalition, JC. I might as well start using your code name. Think I'd miss my brother's first day? Didn't think you'd have a choice. What's going on? The NSF. They hit one of our shipments. A few of them got away, but we trapped the rest in the statue. What are we waiting for? Looks like a textbook assault. The NSF took one of our agents hostage. The bots are holding the perimeter, but my orders are to hold back and send you in alone. I think someone high up wants to see how you handle the situation.
Don't shoot. I surrender.
So you think you know better than FEMA what to do with this month's ambrosia shipment?
You're too late. It's on its way back to the people, and you can't do a damn thing about it.
Tell me about the shipment, and I'll order the troops to pick you up as a prisoner instead of a corpse.
Ask away. We already won this round.
Where are you taking it?
We're just giving ordinary people the same chance to survive as the bureaucrats in Washington.
You'll have to unload in New York because the choppers would spot you at sea.
I think the government made the plague on purpose to get rid of the population growth.
Just answer the question.
Don't believe me? It's all in the numbers. For 100 years, there's been a conspiracy of plutocrats against ordinary people.
You have a single fact to back that up.
Number one, in 1945, corporations paid 50% of federal taxes. Now they pay about 5%. Number two, in 1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%.
So?
It's called consolidation. Strengthen governments and corporations, weaken individuals. With taxes, this can be done imperceptibly over time.
I guarantee you that the interrogation staff at UNATCO will not be as forbearing as I am.
Yeah, the secret police. You're just bullies for a completely illegitimate government in Washington.
We will locate that shipment one way or another.
That will be JC's job.
What's that? Power station. The NSF have ambrosia in a warehouse protected by cameras and booby traps. We want to power down the whole system.
We're taking one illicit generating plant, protected by weak groups of NSF. Knock out that plant, and Paul's team can walk right into the warehouse.
Just tell me where it is. The NSF are openly resisting our deployed forces, gradually falling back. You'll have to deal with them first.
And you be ready, Paul. When the power drops, go in and go in hard.
I'll use my discretion.
Go in like the U.S. Marshals. We lose the vaccine, I'm sending your butt to the mayor to explain why he and his 3 daughters won't get their pills this month.
Yes, sir. Let's not waste any time, JC. Get down to the dock. A boat is waiting to take you and your partner, Anna Navarro, to shore.
Good job, JC. The power just died at the NSF headquarters. Now it's up to Paul. Go to the roof. A chopper is arriving with Agent Herman on board. He will lock down the warehouse while you take the chopper back to HQ.
Mandoli has assigned me the peacekeeping occupation of this district.
I took care of the generator. How's the raid going?
We should have sent Agent Navarre. Your brother is timid like a child.
Did something go wrong?
You do not need to hear anything from me. Take the helicopter back to base. I am sure Mandoli has planned a debriefing for the top agents.
Hello, JC. Come in. Clerical task first. Your op bonus is split between the Castle Clinton and warehouse objectives, 500 each. You get the full 1,000 plus 200 for how you handle the hostage situation in the Battery Park subway station. Good work across the board.
Thank you, sir. Who is that you were meeting with?
Politics, bureaucracy, mismanagement. JC, I've got some bad news. The mission failed.
I would have taken out that JoJo punk, but he wasn't even in the warehouse.
Never mind that. He slipped out before you even got to New York.
What about the shipment?
I'm just going to say it straight, JC. Your brother screwed up. We got nothing, and he's taking the heat this time. The Coalition is letting him go.
What went wrong?
We don't know. He hasn't reported back. The rest of the strike force says he lost his nerve.
I think he was trying to avoid casualties. In Hell's Kitchen, instead of clips for the troops, he was issuing tear gas.
Whatever the case, now it's your turn. We've got one more chance to retake that shipment.
Has it been located?
Get any equipment you need from Carter, then take the chopper back to the city. We know they plan to put the Ambrosia on a plane, but we don't know which airfield. All right, now get moving.
I have been waiting for 20 minutes.
Sorry, Anna. What is it?
I would like to be reassigned to Agent Herman.
Why? Is Agent Denton?
He completed his objective, but our tactics are incompatible.
In other words, he didn't kill everything in sight.
He could have made a more thorough search for NSF targets, yes.
I have one question.
They already asked. I don't know.
One must admire a man who can keep a secret because he has value. What you know more than others makes money and gives you a measure of power.
You Walton Simons? You think I could be bribed?
Margaret Forsyth under NSF protection in Queens. Your son Richard attending Bronx Science. You see, I have a few relevant facts myself. Care to make a trade?
You wouldn't dare.
I'll give you 2 seconds to decide. Get out of here, Denton. This is none of your business. I am a patient man.
Ask me if I care.
But not that patient.
Manderley will chew us out if he finds out you were here.
You saw nothing, Denton. Report to the helipad.
Mr. Carter, can I ask you a question?
Sir?
I'm getting the impression that UNATCO is focused more on military operations than law enforcement.
The focus has shifted lately, I agree.
The only way Anna would have been satisfied is if I'd executed every terrorist in Castle Clinton. The standing order seems to be shoot to kill.
Direct intervention is always part of the game. In my day, we were just more civilized about it.
Civilized. That's the word. I guess I was expecting a little more class from the world's anti-terrorist organization.
We just have to strike a balance.
Excellent work. I underestimated your abilities. You work for the NSF? Listen to what I've got to say. We don't have much time. You got that right. UNATCO will have a team here in a few minutes. The Grey Death is a man-made virus. Everyone up to the president is at UNATCO's mercy as long as UNATCO controls the supply of ambrosia. You believe that? We have proof. We need to get the ambrosia to Hong Kong. Heard of Tracer Tong? He can help us synthesize it ourselves. You better step away from the jet. Your boss is my next objective. Join us, JC. Talk to Lebedev. He can convince you. Get on the plane. We're almost ready to go. Blackmail of the U.S. government could not possibly escape the notice of the United Nations. Don't be so quick to trust the UN. Are you kidding? The UN's about the only chance we've got these days, if the US spirals into another civil war. A pretext, nothing more. The whole project of world government, going back to the League of Nations, has been funded and manipulated mainly by wealthy bankers. Is that so? Remember that the UN itself was built on land donated by John D. Rockefeller. Get on board. A UNATCO security squad will be here any minute. The wealthy have always been the ones to profit from one world government.
I surrender.
What?
Easy now, Agent. UNATCO has a policy against killing unarmed prisoners. We have much to learn from each other.
We're assuming control of the airfield. The vaccine will be returned to the international authorities.
Don't you want to hear why your brother came over to our side?
He makes his own decisions.
You know he wouldn't betray UNATCO without a reason. I guess Paul must have convinced you.
All right. We're alone. If you have proof of a conspiracy, let's hear it.
The question you've got to ask, I'm surprised you haven't, is the obvious one. Who am I? Who made me, and for what purpose?
UNATCO has briefed me on my augmentations. Get to the point.
Your parents were murdered precisely because they could have told you the correct answer to that question.
That's a pretty big claim.
You didn't have parents. The ones you knew were employees. You were made by a cabal of technophiles so crazed for power that they would control not only governments and people, but the chemistry of our bodies as well.
Your proof?
You're the proof. You and Paul. When you get back to UNATCO, pay attention. Something's not right. You're really working for a group of conspirators called Majestic 12.
You expect me to believe there's a group of people powerful enough to control the United Nations?
The UN and UNATCO are just a couple of their tools. UNATCO has already occupied the airfield. Just go through the motions and report back to Liberty Island. I can't do anything for you here. Be patient. Someone will contact you soon.
Jesus, JC, that was Agent Navarre. I can't say I like the way she operated, but oh my god. Manderley will have you shot.
What the hell were you thinking, JC?
Agent Navarro was out of line. I had no choice.
They'll have you killed. They won't even blink an eye.
Neither did I.
Well, watch what you say around Manderley. Let's leave it at that. I've been in contact with Gunther, by the way. No sign of your brother at the airport.
He sure caused his share of trouble. I don't know what to think anymore.
I wonder what it is he found out. Why he'd defect.
He thinks he has proof of a conspiracy.
Wild stuff, huh? I'd like to hear what he has to say. If you hear from him, or if you find out where he is, don't worry about the info link. I'll erase the archives.
You think he's right?
Worth hearing him out. I've never known Paul to make a mistake. Manderley was tuned in when you reached the 747. It really is all over for Paul.
Is this kill switch real? What's it going to do to you?
I'm afraid that's, classified.
Manderley said you're going to die. You've got to have God clearance to know. The nanites can be programmed for exponential growth. There's a chopper that can take us to Hong Kong. You know Jock? First, you're the only one that can help. I need to send the NSF distress code. UNATCO tracked Lebedev to the other NSF bases, and to Silhouette in France. Go on. UNATCO takes payoffs. Silhouette, the other terrorist groups, they're our allies. I'm prepared to believe you. I killed Agent Navarre, and I'll join you against UNATCO, but I want proof. You want proof? Pay a visit to the NSF headquarters. Down in the basement, protected by booby traps, a data cube sits on the edge of a table. My report to the militia leaders. Here, I have a photograph of the building. It's a couple blocks to the west, behind the bar. And I suppose while I'm there, you want me to encrypt a signal with the NSF transmitter, bypass UNATCO SIGINT? A lot of people could die. My friend Chad, for example, the leader of Silhouette. I'll check out the facility, but I can't promise I'll help the terrorists. Be ready to leave for Hong Kong when I get back. You sure you're alright? No worse than a bad cold. What kills me is just that they have this kind of power. The power, yes, but the fact that it's been there from the beginning. A lot of things are starting to make sense. You remember Mom and Dad?
You think they knew?
Lebedev thought so. He said they were employees of the United Nations.
They would never have agreed to anything like a kill switch.
Remember, I knew them longer than you did, and after what Tong showed me, I'm pretty certain we don't have a stitch of DNA in common with either of our supposed parents.
Your buddy Chad should have received the signal. Come on, UNAT goes after both of us.
Good. He'll be able to get his people to their base in the Paris catacombs. Did you find the records we collected on that weasel, Walton Simons?
I have a question about Simons. The instant I sent the signal, he ordered the troopers to hunt us down. Why does FEMA have authority over UNATCO? I thought FEMA was a domestic agency for flood relief and that sort of thing.
His authority doesn't come from FEMA. He's part of a secret organization, Majestic 12. We don't know much more than the name. They plan to use FEMA as part of a scheme to shut down the US government.
Agent J.C. Denton, please put down your weapons and step into the hallway.
UNATCO!
Come on, out the window. We'll meet Jock in Battery Park.
I can't manage the climb. You go ahead. The code to the gate they installed at the subway station is 6282.
I can't just leave you here.
Open up!
Don't be a fool. Run!
I need you to escape. I can cut power to the door only a few seconds without being detected. Get ready.
You will be much happier at the Library of Congress.
I can't control a man's mind.
You aren't a commander, Manderley. We hoped you'd give UNATCO an urbane diplomatic face, that's all. We screwed up our priorities.
I refuse to be pushed into some obscure bureaucratic cubbyhole.
Actually, I doubt you'll get the chance. Look around. Your star pupil has come back to teach a lesson to his old instructor.
JC.
I never had time to take the oath of service to the Coalition. How about this one? I swear not to rest until UNATCO is free of you and the other crooked bureaucrats who perverted its mission.
Big words for a rookie. The only problem is that security is well aware of your escape. Trust me, you won't leave the facility alive.
You can't run, Denton. Even if you escape, your kill switch is counting down. You'll be dead in 23 hours. Another $50 billion down the drain.
We'll see about that. Mr. Tong, you know my brother Paul Denton.
Yes, a reliable man. So your kill switch has been activated.
I feel fine, but it's been over 16 hours.
See how easily our technologies turn on us? The more power you think you have, the more quickly it slips from your hands.
Can you do something about it?
That will depend. You, like your brother, are an extraordinary piece of technology. I never pass up the chance to try a new blade. But I fear at the crucial moment I may lift up my arm to strike and you will twist free of my grasp.
In other words, I'll owe you a favor.
Indeed, as will your friend Mr. Jacobson, a man of much useful knowledge. He arrived in Hong Kong shortly after you did. I was forced to keep him in custody until I could verify his identity and his loyalties.
I assume he checked out.
I believe he is sincere. Now, go down the stairs to the operating platform, and I will examine your systems. Stay right there.
That's it.
A simple switch, as they call it.
Have you heard from Paul?
On his way, according to smuggler in New York. He will be fine. Meanwhile, we still face the likelihood of a triad war here in Hong Kong.
Quick and Chen declared a truce just a few minutes ago.
A good bit of diplomacy, I admit, but it won't hold. Not with the sword left to be fought over.
I think they'll be slow to anger with Maggie Chow out of the picture.
No. In their system, the sword is a doomsday weapon, a temptation. We must recover the ramen coding from VersaLife and make it available to both triads.
So that's all you expect in the way of a favor? A little corporate espionage?
The first of many favors. Remember, I saved your lives.
I'll find the ramen coding, but I'm not your henchman. I'll help you as long as we have a mutual interest.
If you choose to fight Majestic 12, you will need an ally. We will have a mutual interest for some time.
Peace between the triads is now official.
Good. We begin to operate from a position of strength. We will start manufacturing the swords and distributing them to our allies.
What next? VersaLife was crawling with troops. I think they were hiding more than sword technology down there.
Tell me about the labs. Paul and I concluded that VersaLife does the manufacturing, while the real research takes place in North America.
Plenty of scientists. Biotech, physics, nanotech, several research divisions. It would seem we still have a mutual interest.
We know they manufacture ambrosia. If you went back and gained access to the Level 2 labs, perhaps you would find something on the Grey Death. Your brother's failure in New York has left me with nothing.
You think you could find a cure?
That cannot be determined until I have a schematic of the virus particle and the molecular structure of ambrosia. Tom filled me in, so we have to dig up Stanton Dowd?
Yeah, you know him?
I heard a few things. I think Harley Philbin knows how to contact him. I always thought Philbin was pulling my leg about the Illuminati, though.
I guess we'll find out when we get to New York. Let's not waste any time. Dowd?
I agreed to see you because we have a mutual enemy.
Why a vacant building? I thought the Illuminati were bankers, politicians, Council on Foreign Relations types.
We always stayed in the background, even when that was true.
You all right?
Caught this damn plague myself. Anyway, we never had troops like Majestic 12 or freighters full of bioweapons, if what you say is accurate.
It's accurate. I just don't know where the freighter would dock.
They'll want to hide it. The only facility big enough on the East Coast is the Advanced Submarine Facility at the Brooklyn Naval Shipyards.
Of course. That's why FEMA took it over.
They're probably storing the virus in the ship's diesel tanks. The only way to make sure it's destroyed will be to scuttle the ship.
Scuttle a super freighter?
It can be done, if you know where to place the charges.
That does it. The ship is sinking. Jock is touching down on the roof and will take you to Stanton Dowd. Dowd has determined who engineered the virus.
At this stage, we might be out of options. You see, I was able to decipher the molecular signatures Tracer Tong found, and it turns out Everett was the one who developed the eutactic component of the virus.
He developed the virus for the Illuminati?
Not exactly. The work was on augmentations. It was Bob Page who wanted to develop it into a weapon. Tong found Page's signature on the virus as well.
Page, the billionaire. How does he relate to Majestic 12?
He was among the original group of Illuminati who broke off to form Majestic 12. Not so good at the science, though. He must be directing operations.
So Everett should be able to reverse engineer Page's modifications and help find a cure.
Exactly.
How does Everett threaten Bob Page?
Page was an Illuminatus. For him, intellect is the foundation of power, and that would make Everett his most dangerous rival.
But Everett's the one in hiding.
Both the Illuminati and MJ-12 believe that the most intelligent or enlightened human being will inevitably gain power, ultimately seizing the eye in the pyramid and creating the world for everyone else. Kind of secularized version of natural law.
Page has a trained army to protect him.
He is still vulnerable. Much of his power comes from secret laboratories, meaning the right person could reverse engineer his whole power base.
Let's hope you're right, and that Everett is everything you say he is.
We did certainly teach you how to fight, didn't we?
You're worried, Simons. We almost have a cure.
You have nothing. Even if Everett succeeds, you can't synthesize enough vaccine to stop an epidemic. You need a universal constructor, and don't think Page Industries is going to leave one lying around for you to use. Not after you blew up the one in Hong Kong.
I was never properly trained in its operation.
Laugh it up, Denton. Next time I won't use an old box of bolts like Gunter. The only reason I let him go to Paris is that I was sick of his moaning about Navarra and constant requests for a tune-up.
You sent him because you knew he would fight to the death.
He was the last of the mechs. Next time you will face someone of your own abilities.
So this is where the Illuminati ended up after centuries of conspiring to rule the world.
The conspiracy is about to begin again, JC, between you and me. Nicolette was wise to bring us together. Wise like her mother. The most effective partnerships, like Beth's and mine, arise from mutual necessity.
I came to talk about the Grey Death. Atanwe said you cracked the virus.
A trivial matter. Page added nothing to the core design. However, what we need to construct is a carbano-carbon ROM module, not exactly a vaccine.
Can it be done without a universal constructor?
No, we need time on a UC. But I know where we might find one, and also gain access to the U.S. military networks.
U.S. military?
To stop Icarus from completely destroying the Daedalus AI. Daedalus is a design of mine. It replaced the old Echelon 3 network.
Echelon? The surveillance system for the United Nations. So Daedalus was an MJ-12 tool and rebelled?
More of a pattern-matching error. It classified Majestic 12 as a terrorist group, alongside the NSF and Silhouette.
And alongside the Illuminati, right? Are you sure Daedalus is your ally?
What matters to us is that it opposes Majestic 12.
I'm losing Daedalus.
Yes. Hold on, something's...
You forgot about the Aquinas Protocol. I was listening to Daedalus all along, waiting.
The AIs seem to be merging.
And I have another surprise, Denton. Find Savage in the control room. I have an announcement.
Something went wrong, JC. I'm looking into it.
In case you were wondering, Helios intercepted your transmission. We accessed the Ocean Lab computers ourselves, which means our UCs will be operational shortly.
Meanwhile, we will be manufacturing a cure to the virus.
A cure? A cure? Do you have any idea how easy it will be for me to make a new virus? All I have to do is find a very large prime number and multiply.
And all we have to do is crack the code.
Mathematically unlikely, as are your chances of leaving the Ocean Lab, by the way.
Your next Page. Your greatest strength was secrecy, but now we know everything, including your present location.
Always the optimist. You would need an army to attack me at Area 51, and pretty soon, if the missile is accurate, your X-51 will be a thin, gray smudge where Vandenberg used to be.
Launch aborted. Now use the terminal at the side of the room to reprogram the missile. Launch sequence initiated. It's gonna be a sunny day at Area 51.
Decades ago, the UN made Area 51 the central hub for all electronics communications. The Aquinas Protocol, originally for surveillance, has given Page unlimited abilities to censor and control all forms of media.
If we destroy the Aquinas hub, we'll take down the global network.
Exactly. They dug their own grave, JC. We're going to eliminate global communications altogether.
I don't know. Sounds like overkill.
As long as technology has a global reach, someone will have the world in the palm of his hand. If not Bob Page, then Everett, Dowd.
Another Stone Age would hardly be an improvement.
Not so drastic. A dark age, an age of city-states, craftsmen, government on a scale comprehensible to its citizens.
I'll think about it. It let me through. I can't believe it. Paul, where are you? What do you mean, it? Helios. It's taken over Aquinas. Now it's everywhere. In Hong Kong, it already has power Majestic 12 never dreamed of. What's going on? The AI wants to merge with my brain or something.
Does it really think it can take over the world? It's decided to replace human government. I don't know why. In Hong Kong, it ordered the police to remove all barricades from the roads. Traffic is flowing again. It declared the triads illegal and locked the door to the Luminous Path compound. And people are obeying? Why? Because the AI can change some codes and turn out the lights? I think everyone wants the roads to be open and trade to pick up. They just obeyed. I don't know what to think. They trust the AI. Almost no one complained when Helios cut power to the government buildings. A benevolent dictator. Maybe it's after my brain so it can figure out what people want and how to control them.
You're too late. Already I'm more than human.
Does that mean I don't get the job?
Soon I will be pure light. Pure energy. Helios and I... While the Illuminati cower in the shadows...
You will be the Supreme Enlightened, the Illuminated One.
Everett has taught you well. I will be what the Illuminati aspire to be, but cannot create for themselves soon. When my augmented systems like yours are complete and able to be integrated with Helios, I will burn like the brightest star.
You're gonna burn, all right.
Stay away from the cooling controls. I will be destroyed if the reactors become unstable. Without me, it will be chaos. Good. Now go to the reactor lab. All right, I get the picture. You want a piece of the pie, or you're going to toss the whole pie out the window. Fair enough. You can have anything you want. How about Europe, your own continent? Just let me complete my preparations.
Warning. Critical power safeties have been disengaged. Please vacate the immediate area.
JC, the net's going. The net's going black. JC, no more infolinks. Transmissions of any kind. We'll start again. Live in villages. If you receive this, if you survive, then find us. Find us.
Helios! What's happening?
The safety interlocks for the power generator have been disengaged.
Engage them! Immediately!
I cannot. Our systems are not interfaced with the generator technology.